Freak Nation, what's good with it, y'all? Trying to get my iPad mounted on there. Just want to tap in with you, Gun Freak Nation. You know, I'm just hoping that y'all are, righteously prepared to defend yourself, man. What's up, man? What's up, Big Cam? I just want to, kick it with y'all for a second. It's wicked out there. It's a lot of Hey, what's up, Robert? What up? What up? What up, though? What up? What I'm trying to say is that did y'all hear the other news story that happened in Georgia with the the cartels got busted down in Georgia. But before I tap in on that subject matter, I'm doing another gun review for the Gun Freak Nation. It's been a couple of years since I did one, and I want to see y'all very best. Oh, what up? Make sure you put the new store in there. Dashi, that's the new store. Just in one of my videos, the link is in there. I think it's called Dashi. Some cold fucking shirts. I ain't even got me one yet, but it's up there. If you want your caps, your stickers, Gun Freak Nation stickers, they only like $3, $3. Support the channel, support me. Hit that motherfucker. But anyway, I'm doing another gun. I want to rate y'all guns, y'all. I want you to send your very best Funky Town senders to me, and I'm gonna show it on my live. I'm gonna do a live, and I'm gonna rate your guns. I'm not gonna shit on your guns. We don't do that here in the Gun Freak Nation. We don't shit on other people's guns because we may think they ugly or cheap or some bullshit like that. All you need to do is just be armed and make sure that the gun is reliable. That when it comes time to send that savage to Funky Town, that savage will go. It don't matter whether it's a $200 gun or a $2,000 gun. You feel me? But anyway, it was somebody I kind of know or whatever. We know of each other. A home invasion happened to them, y'all. Didn't I tell y'all this is an evil world? This is an evil world. So a home invasion happened to him. Thank God the brother and his woman survived it. Thank God. And I asked him, I said, well, brother, what did you do in the midst of that home invasion? He was like, I didn't do shit. I didn't have a gun. I said, brother, damn. Come on now. This is 2025. And you know how crazy it is out here, especially in the D. That's Detroit. He said, man, I never thought in a million years that some shit like that would go down and happen to me. I said, look, man, you got to be ready and prepared at all times. I said, you are lucky to still be in the land of the living. You are lucky that you're not, sexually traumatized, because that's very rare nowadays that a home invasion go down and nobody gets, sexually assaulted or nobody gets unalived. It's these savages that pulled that home invasion on that guy. They must have been like some old school savages from the 80s and 90s, early 90s. when that's what it really was. A motherfucker that was wanting to hit a quick lick on you, or waiting till you left to go to the store, and they break in your house and they grab. It's a smash and grab at that point. It was nothing like how it is today. Okay? Where they no longer want to just come up in your crib and they don't want to just come up in your crib and just take your valuables. You feel me? You the prize. You the valuable. And that's why I want y'all to know that it's people out there right now walking amongst you, and they don't give a damn about you. Your life is just as worthless as a piece of gum on the bottom of their shoe. And they don't have a problem coming up in your house, or you encounter them type of people, and it could be over the most minute, stupidest thing, and they'd be so ready to unalive you. Because it's Satan, it's the devil. We living in a wicked world. That's number one. You got to wake up and realize it's good people in the world, but the majority, man, this is the devil. This shit is demonic. You feel me? And you have to be ready at all times, because you never know when you're going to run across one of them, or when one of them going to run across you. So be ready. But back to what happened in Georgia. It was another arrest made. And it was through, some cartel-related shit, man. They found caches of fully auto weapons. I'm talking about rifles that had auto sears in them. You know what I'm saying? That converted them, you know what I'm talking about. So they had caches of that, large caches of ammo, as well as fake passports and IDs and shit like that, and drugs. You know what I'm saying? Now, the crazy part about it is that all this ammo, all these guns, they wasn't trying to smuggle them across the border into Mexico. So, thinking rationally, that if you're stockpiling like military grade firearms and ammo, then it's got to be a motherfucking army already here. The army, we already been invaded, but y'all already know that, right? So I think that if Trump really go hard and go in on them cartels, then it's going to be some retaliation operations that's going to be happening right here in the streets of good old USA of America. And you got a lot of people, oh, T, you fear-mongering. That shit can never happen. It ain't gonna happen here, motherfucker. It ain't gonna happen. Bullshit. Them Israelis over there a year or two ago, October 7th, over in Israel, when that surprise attack happened, and they Hamas crossed that fucking border, and them people was in their house, in their cribs, chilling. And all of a sudden, you got a gang of heavily armed motherfuckers beating down your door. And if they couldn't get in, guess what? They smoked them people out. They set fire. It wasn't no police. It wasn't no military, no army. None of those entities came to those civilians, to those people, to their aid, to help them. Nobody came to help, because they was busy fighting for their lives. Who's to say that same type of operation cannot happen here? Oh, T, you bullshitting. You just talk. Ask them people in Iraq how ISIS took over, big old swaths of Syria, Iraq. You know why? Because they could. Nobody did it because they can. They was armed to the motherfucking teeth. What I'm trying to tell you, the lesson to this is the weak gonna always be sheep and victims. Only the strong will survive. In order for you to be, in order for you to be able to make it in this wicked world, you got to be strong and you got to be armed. You got to. It even dates back in the Bible. Moses was a killer. Mary was a prostitute. The other guy was a fornicator. But you get the point, they still was righteous people. You know what I'm saying? We still got, God Freak Nation, we still got to get down and dirty in the trenches and just be ready to do whatever we got to do to make sure that we safe, our family safe, our loved ones safe. We got to do what we got to do. This ain't no turn the other cheek shit. If this a turn another cheek situation, then guess what? You're going to be getting both of your cheeks spread right the fuck open, and them funky ass savages are going to stick these funky ass, you know what, up in you. This world, it ain't shit. It could have been heaven, but it ain't shit because it's just so full of ain't shit people, full of hate in their heart, working for the devil, And it didn't have to be this way, but it's just the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? This is just the way that it is, and we got to deal with it. We got to. Evil motherfuckers is out there. And I ain't trying to scare you. It is what the fuck it is. You know what? I realized just how evil motherfuckers is back in, was that 2014, 2013. Let me tell y'all this true story. I think it was like a Thursday or Friday night. And I was horny like a motherfucker. I was horny as hell, dick hard, every motherfucking thing. And I said, I called my woman up, the one I'm with right now. I called her. I said, babe, let me come over there and pick you up, and let's have a good time, a funky good time tonight, okay? So got in my car. I was headed her way. And I was driving down Tireman Avenue. And I spotted a dog. It was a dog on the sidewalk. But for some crazy reason, this dog went off the curve and went into the street. And I almost hit that dog. I almost hit him. I slammed on my brakes. And I even blew the horn at the dog just looking at me. So I'm hoping that the dog just go back on the sidewalk. But instead, it was another motherfucking car coming my way. The driver in that car had to have seen me stop in the middle of the street. He had to have seen that dog caught in my headlights, right? That poor dog. Instead of him walking back up on the sidewalk, he tried to continue to go across the street, and that motherfucker in that car that saw me stop, that saw the dog in my headlights, that dirty motherfucker sped up and hit that dog. Hit that dog. And it was one of the worst things that I ever seen, because when I looked in my rearview mirror, that dog was just screaming and yelling in pain and just jumping like jerking, and it was just horrible to see. And you could hear his screams, And I knew right then and there, I said some evil motherfuckers, mean, evil, wicked motherfuckers in this world. I knew right there when I saw that motherfucker purposely hit that dog, man. That's one thing that bothers me. People that abuse kids, women, and animals, man. That shit haunted me, saying, you know, I can hear the dog squealing right now. And he was like laying on his back, and his legs, all four of his legs was shaking. I know he had to die because that car, he sped up on purpose to hit that dog. And the impact was like, we got evil motherfuckers like that we got to deal with on a daily basis. And y'all need to be ready. A lot of people still living in a imaginary world thinking that nothing can never happen to them because they ain't never witnessed no violence. And I get it and I understand. How can you know about it if you ain't never went through it or experienced a situation? Me, I saw my first body. I'll never forget this. I had to be about I might be about 8 years old, maybe 9 or 10. Snuck out the house, following my brothers. They came in. They was like, it's a body in the alley over there on Mark Twain, right off of was it Midland and Finkel? It was whatever. And my ass followed them, and I'll never forget it. Dude stretched out in the alley with a ski mask on. He tried to rob somebody. It was a dice game somebody was having in their backyard garage. And that stupid motherfucker tried to rob him, and somebody was armed, and they got the drop on his ass. So that was my first time seeing a body that was laid out like that. Second time, it was a lady killed by a little child. Because the child didn't like it, that the lady was turning his mama out on drugs and shit and making her do strange things for them drugs. So he lured her through the alley. I'll never forget this. I was laid up. I was laying on the couch, chilling, watching Arsenio Hall, and all of a sudden, I'll never forget this. Pop! Pop, pop. Just like that, I heard 3 shots. It was a one single shot, and then boom, boom. I heard that shit. And the next day, her body was found, and I saw her. I'll never forget it as long as I live. A blue dress on. She had a gun in her hand too. And unlike the first one that I saw, she had blood, trailing from her. The other dude, he was shot all in the face, but his ski mask kept the blood in. I ain't trying to be too graphic, YouTube, but I'm just saying this is my life. This is what I've seen. I remember also walking home from school, and I saw that they had the streets roped off, and it was about 15 police cars, and the meat wagon pulled up, and I saw them bringing out, bags of, stuff in blue bags, like medical bags. That was Tap's brain. That was Tap's brain. There was a guy named Tap, and he was unalived by his son because his son didn't like the way that he beat on his mama. So one day he came home and caught his father asleep on the couch and took a shotgun, and and the crazy thing is my brother Eddie used to always fuck with his son, like just not really bully him, but like just, how some people got the jokes and shit and they pick on you or whatnot. He used to always fuck with him. And my brother saw him that day running with the fucking shotgun in his hand. They found the shotgun in a garage of a vacant house. So I witnessed that shit. I witnessed all that shit, and you don't realize it until you've grown that, God damn, I've been through some shit. I witnessed some shit. Multiple killings. Bobby Bogart. drug dealer. Got set up. He got robbed. They took him and his woman down in the basement. They had fun with his woman. She was fine as hell too. I was just a little kid, but this woman was shit, looked like a movie star, Beyonce or something. Took him down in the basement, tied him up, tortured them, put bags over their head, and then unalived them. Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. And I can't, I thank the Lord, I wasn't one never to really be in the streets like that doing, dumb, stupid shit, I can't say the same for a couple of my brothers, but, you got to realize that time on this earth, man, I don't give a fuck which, no disrespect, but whatever faith that you believe in, keep believing in it. But we only got one shot at this. Life is already short. Don't let no savage, get the drop on you and take your life. Every day I'm hearing about just stupid, dumb, senseless violence that could have been avoided, but for whatever reason, people just don't want to be called a punk or a pussy, or they don't want to de-escalate. It's all about escalation, and everybody wants to solve all of their disputes and arguments and shit with a gun, man. And I'm not here to preach that guns are bad. I love guns. I done sold about 5 or 6 of them in the last week or so. I ain't got it in me no more like that to have a collection like that no more, But you already know I'm keeping at least 2 or 3 of them motherfuckers. You already know that. You got to be ready at all times, because you just never know when you are going to encounter that fucking devil, that demonic savage out there, man. Evil still exists in this world. You don't have to go looking for trouble. Trouble will come for you, whether they breaking in your house or whether they trying to get you out there in them streets. And you need to be ready. I mean, God, we soldiers for God. We standing for what's right. We not about no hatred. I don't hate nobody. I don't hate you because you Muslim or you Christian or you Jehovah's Witness or whatever, man. I don't hate you because you white or brown or yellow or Mexican, or it don't fucking matter. At the end of the day, we all human beings, right? When y'all realize that religion, politics, and race, them Satan's tools, man. All that really was put here to divide us. All that racism shit, hatred, the religious wars, politics. Oh, you a Democrat, so I hate you. I don't hate no Democrat. People said let me address this issue. I had a lot of people come at me saying that whatever, why you support Trump, and why shouldn't I? Because I'm black, I'm supposed to just vote Democrat. I mean, I was raised that way. I was always told that the Republicans didn't give a fuck about the poor, and that vote Democrat, they there for you. But Democrats, what I don't like about them, they fear monger. They everything that they do is based off of fear, and then they get people on they on the system and shit, and people don't want to break free from the system. Food stamps, cash benefits, whatever. And I'm not saying this I can't look down on nobody, and can't nobody look down on me. But I'm saying they're giving it to you. Then people get so used to it that they fear to get off of that shit. They punish you if you get off. They want to keep you like a pimp want to keep his bitch. And they'll sell you all kind of dreams. And I'm not saying the Republicans are much better. I'm neither one of them motherfuckers. I just love Trump because he's a crazy motherfucker like me. And I can relate to the motherfucker. You feel me? He ain't no perfect motherfucker, and neither am I. That's another thing I don't like about them funky ass politicians. You got to be a perfect motherfucker, can't make no mistakes and all that. Nigga, get the fuck out my face. How I'm gonna judge somebody and talk about somebody and I don't did the same fucking shit myself. I would be a fucking hypocrite if I talked about Trump cheating on his wife. I ain't never been married, but I know that I have my ways and, you know, a flirt and all that shit and temptations. You know, lust is here on this earth. It's here. You got to be strong, but I say enjoy your life while you have it, because you just never know. Ain't nobody promised today. That's why you got to like just, you know, treat people like you want to be treated. You know, it's like, it's fucked up that so many people is driven by jealousy, envious. They envy of you. They jealous of you. They don't want to see you, you know, come up. They want to see you down all the time. And that's not the way to be. That's actually fucked up. We should be trying to be there for each other, have love for one another, and uplift each other instead of tear each other down. A lot of people hate on me. You know, they don't like me for whatever reason. I ain't did shit to nobody but tell people to, you know, to do their best to be prepared and to be armed. I don't see no wrong in that. But for whatever reason, they don't like me. They accuse me of lying and just, you know, making up shit and all that. I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Go to hell. Because a negative, toxic motherfucker guess what? That's what they gonna be in this life. Everybody that's watching you, they ain't rooting for you. Your biggest motherfucking fans is your motherfucking haters. Them motherfuckers watching you so, man. But you know what? I got love for y'all, you know, confused motherfuckers too. You know. But anyway, Gun Freak Nation, I've been through a lot, witnessed a lot, you know, I don't want y'all to be no victims. Don't be no victims. You hear me? You know, give yourself a pat on the back. Salute yourself. If you out there and you standing on business and you got your funky town senders, you hear me? You don't want to end up like no victim, man. One day when I get the emotional support to talk about the Shannon Christian Chris Newsom killing, I'm gonna do a video on it. But so far, man, it's so heavy on my heart. I feel like if I didn't talk about it in details, it'd devalue what happened to them people that was kidnapped and tortured, sexually tortured. And they didn't do nothing wrong. They woke up that day and they didn't do anything wrong, but they took their last breath being tortured. They didn't know they was going to encounter them savages, them demons, but they did. And you just never know what's around the corner. You just never know. So I'm telling y'all, please, if you already ready, then guess what? You ain't got to get ready. What I'm about to do now, though, y'all, I'm about to jump off. I'm about to jump off my main channel, and I'm about to go over here to TMV Nation. It's gonna be a party of one. You know, my girl, she having a girls' night. So it's gonna be a party of one. She'll be back later tonight, though. But so I'm gonna jump over there. You know, probably go into my purple zone. You know, my Prince zone. Play all my Prince shit. You know how I get down. But shit, I done lost my train of thought now. Anyway, I need y'all to send in your very best Funky Town senders. Send it to gunfreaknation@gmail.com. I'm gonna when I'm done with the video, I'm gonna put my email in the description. I gotta do another review. I'm not talking shit about nobody guns. You know, I don't give a fuck what I personally think of it. I'll never do that. The fact that you have a gun makes you righteous and you know, in my eyes. And any gun is better than no gun. Even having a fucking high point pistol is better than having no gun, because at least if that motherfucker jam, you can still take that big motherfucker and use it as a brick and bash that savage's fucking head with that fucking high point, all right? But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and thank you to all of the paid members that, you know, they pay the $3, $2.99, $1.99, something like that every month to be a member. That's why I uploaded 2 videos, and y'all get to watch. That's the perks. Y'all get to watch those videos first. And some of them gonna be only for members only. All right. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you to the moderators. You know, I got the best moderators in the world. Gun Freak Nation, y'all, is such a blessing, man, to me. Because never in a million years would I have thought that, you know, my message of, you know, being armed, whatever, you know, resonate with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I really do thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Ain't nothing unique or special about me. It's just the way that I was raised and all of the shit that I personally witnessed, you know, in my life. You know, from losing family members to my nephew being murdered. You know, I've been through a lot. And I just want y'all to keep your cool, keep being cool. I gotta play that later too, by the time. Cool, that's my shit. But y'all just gotta stay cool and stay out the way. Because the devil, Satan, is definitely out there, and he's busy, from the Foot Locker killing to the body that was found right around the corner from me on Evergreen by my old crib. To the man using a sword on his wife because he lost his mind and thought she was a devil. To the other victims where the ex, you know, came and unalived her mom, her sister, and her niece and burned them up in a car. All that shit happened in the span in less than 1 month right here in my city. And it's more. I just forgetting right now. Summer ain't even here yet. And these savages is out here. These funky ass savages is out here in these streets running wild, wreaking havoc on everybody. I want to know, if you encounter a savage, I mean, are you ready? What you gonna do? That's what I want to know. I hope you are ready. Man, you want to be here, even though this lifetime, it could be gone at the wink of an eye, you feel me? But you need to try to be here as long as you can for your loved ones, you know? Think about it, though. It's a lot of people right now It's a lot of people right now. And I got some, hey, by the way, I got some gun freakers for you. If you in the Metro Detroit area, hit my email up, because I got 9 of them. And yeah, it can be overwhelming at times. You feel me? But damn, I done lost my train of thought. Y'all just stay safe. Stay safe out there, because you just never know when it's gonna be your time, when the devil he gonna come for you. Them savages gonna come for you. You just never know, but it's gonna happen, and you got to have that mindset. What you got to realize is, fuck that gun. Fuck that gun. That's just a tool. The mindset is the weapon. That's the true weapon right there. This is going to be the deciding factor, whether you make it through that situation or whether you not make it through it, whether you don't. It's that mindset. You got to be ready. You got to be savage ready. When I say savage ready, I'm not talking about how many guns you got. I'm talking about the mindset of having situational awareness, being alert, keeping your head on the swivel at all times. Because you just never know when that devil gonna, try to get the drop on you. It'd be when you least, what up, Dr. T? It'd be when you least expect it. And you need to be ready. You need to be ready at all times. Okay? You need to be ready at all times. But I want y'all to send me your best Funky Town sender at gunfreaknation@gmail.com. Send them, and I'm going to go live and showcase them, because it's going to be a celebration. I ain't shitting on nobody's gun. It's going to be a celebration. It's time for us to celebrate us. Gun Freak Nation, like I say, everybody in this club, everybody is invited. I don't give a fuck what your nationality, race, sex, sexual preference. I don't give a fuck. All that matters is that you righteous. You ain't out there fucking with people and doing the devil's work. You standing on business, providing for your family, hustling for your family, working hard for your family, and you don't want nobody to fuck with you or your family. So you got every right to defend your peace. Somebody coming in trying to break in your house, man, think about this shit, man. This is for y'all that's watching me that don't have a gun, but you might be on the fence getting one. Picture this right here. This scenario right here. You chilling in your crib, in your home, your peaceful home. You might be laying down, you might be in the living room watching a movie, or at the dining room table eating, or even on the toilet taking a shit, a good old shit. And all of a sudden you hear your door getting kicked in, bust in, window getting bust in, and a whole bunch of fucking feet. The sound of running feet. So I want to know, how you gonna overcome that if you don't have a gun? Because the assholes that's breaking up in your house, pulling that home invasion, I guarantee you 1,000%, I bet my life on it, that they are armed, heavily armed. And most of these motherfuckers ain't coming in with no pop gun. These motherfuckers coming in with AK-47s and AR-15s, the pistol versions. And they some assholes. And guess what? They probably gonna end up in your ass hole. So you don't never want to be put in a situation where you begging for somebody to have mercy on you. You never want to be put in that situation where somebody got control over whether you live or whether you die. You never want to be put in that situation. where you got to witness or hear your woman being brutally sodomized or raped, or gurgling sounds from them shoving their dicks down her throat, because that's what happens in home invasions. You don't want to be on that side. Don't you want to be able to fight back when they bring they stinking asses up in your house with them guns? Don't you know if they see you with a gun that they gonna be ducking and running and trying to get the fuck up out of there? At least the non-high ones would do that. But then again, you might have some motherfucker that's so doped up and hopped up on drugs, they willing to bang it out for you. Because they want to bang your ass. They want to bang your ass over. So imagine you don't have a gun. Imagine that. So guess what you got to do? You got to run, try to find a place to hide, and call the police and be whispering to the 911 dispatcher. Yeah, hell no. Yeah, it sounds like about 4 or 5 of them. Can you go get a look? Hell no, I can't go get no look. No, you don't want to be in that situation. And then you might hear your kids getting assaulted. Your wife, it's just a fucked up situation that shouldn't happen to nobody. But guess what? It still happens. And that's why you need to be ready. Imagine when the police got there and they armed, fully armed, heavily armed, and the police show up and they ain't got no guns. You're going to be like, what the fuck? What the fuck did I even need to call y'all for if y'all showing up on the scene and y'all ain't got no guns? That's stupid and foolishness. Well, guess what? That's stupid and foolish if you don't own a gun. It's the game changer. Well, I'm not going to say game changer. I'm going to say it's the equalizer. Because the minute that they know that you ain't got no gun, then they got control. And that's what they want. That's what they want. They want somebody to comply with them of their every demand, and they don't want nobody resisting. If you got a gun, you can resist and you can possibly save your life, even if you got to end one of theirs. But that's what the fuck they get. They shouldn't have broke up in your house to begin with. So it's very crucial and essential that you own a firearm. And then with these cartels setting up shop here, getting back to that topic, the reason why they got those fully auto rifles and stockpiles of caches of ammo, because it's an army already here and they just waiting on their orders. So we need to be ready for whatever, whenever, in any place, anytime. I ain't talking about the Janet Jackson song. Y'all get armed out there. And I can't wait. Somebody already sent me a picture of a badass AR-15 and a pistol. I said, brother, I assure you, when I do this, rate your guns. You're going to be the first one, because you was the first one to send me a picture of your best Funky Town Center. Anyway, down Freak Nation, I'm about to jump off here so I can jump on here, and I'm about to turn up on Life with T and V. But I appreciate every single one of y'all. Check out the new merch store. Man, I feel so bad. I ordered, my brother Eisner's Tactical wanted a Down Freak Nation t-shirt. And I ordered it. I did it. And because Teespring, and I ain't talking bad on them, because it's my store, all I had to do, was pay the sample fee, which is half of what the cost is, because it's my shit, right? Man, that was 2 months ago, and he still ain't received the t-shirt. And so I reached out to Teespring. They was like, we're sorry, we have an abundance of orders, and what we're going to do is we're going to refund you your shipping fee. So I got a new shop. Man, this new shop, I personally designed this shirt. You feel me? I think it's called Dashi or whatever. The link is in the description. Um, you got baseball hats, caps, t-shirts, tank tops, stickers, and I'm trying to get the patches. So, I love y'all, and I know y'all love me. So, I mean, we gonna keep on moving, even though I feel deep in my heart YouTube got this channel shadow banned. I be getting people telling me they didn't get notifications till like 3 days after my video was uploaded. That's ridiculous. I get so many people telling me, T, somebody unsubscribed me from my channel because it sure as hell wasn't me. So, they don't, for whatever reason, they don't like me. I don't know why. Maybe I cuss too much. I don't know. But I want y'all to have a safe, savage-free night. And if you are not already armed, please get yourself armed. Okay? Get yourself armed so you will not be a victim. All right? You don't want to be no victim. You don't want to be that statistic. You don't want to like a surgeon reached out to me. And he was like, T, you are absolutely right when you're talking about senseless violence, because damn near every night on the operating table, I see the end results of stupidity. Somebody couldn't bag down. Somebody, nah, I ain't gonna let you disrespect me. I'll die for my respect. He told me he sees so many young people. Some of them make it. Some of them don't. And he said that's the ones, even though that's his career that he chose. And it's good money, but he said it takes its toll seeing death after death, especially when it could have been avoided. And you seeing young men, young black men, and you seeing them on the operating table, and you see the bullet wounds, and you see what a gun can do, the devastation, man. And I can only imagine what he go through when their life is in his hands and he can't save them. Hell, he might even been the one that tried to save my nephew who died of gun violence. I don't think I could do a job like that, to be honest, man. So salute to all of the medical people. Salute to y'all. Salute to the police for keeping us safe. We living in a wicked world. You got to live, count every day of your life as a blessing. Because a lot of people, man, sometimes rest in peace to Aunt Mildred. My Aunt Mildred passed away earlier today. My sister's mom, rest in peace. And I don't know her age, but she had to be at least 70 or 80 or something, But a lot of us, unfortunately, don't even make it to 20. The shit that I see, it's sad. It really is sad. A lot of people, including my nephew, should still be here. But because he got caught up in a moment of anger for some people that disrespected him at his sister's party, and he told them they was no longer welcome to leave, and they refused to leave, and he pulled his gun, I guess to show that he was armed, and they shot him. Not the one he was having words with, but the brother. No one went to jail over it because it was self-defense in the eyes, with stand your ground laws here in Michigan. That's why I say, look, no matter what you do, And if you got your concealed carry license, don't never let your emotions overtake your intelligence. Because the moment he did that shit, he didn't see that shit coming, and he paid for that shit with his life, with his gun in his hand. So having a gun don't mean shit if you not, armed up here and savage ready up here. This is your true rapping right here. So having a gun don't mean shit if you got a short temper. See, when you engage in foolery like that, shit can escalate just like that. So the best way to stay out of it, the best way to stay out of it is to never get in it. Be that bitch. Be that hoe. Be that pussy motherfucker. Be that punk. Be that whatever. I don't give a fuck what another motherfucker think of me. Be whatever. But guess what? You walking away with your life. You walking away with your freedom. And you walking back to people who I hope love you. Back to your family. We got too much to lose for an ain't shit motherfucker. And I get it is easier said than done because people will piss you the fuck off. And I'm guilty of that shit too. Because I remember I had some road rage and I was in the car with my woman and the motherfucker cut me off and he was like trying to cut me off and block me and all that. And I pulled my fucking Glock out and I stuck it out the fucking window and I had it down just like this out the window so they can see that shit. And that was one of the most stupidest, dumbest shit that I ever did. And I even got mad at my woman, for calling me out and getting on me. And when I thought about it, I said, you know what? I wasn't going to harm nobody. But they could have shot the shit out of me and my woman. You know what I'm saying? And got off on it because it was self-defense because I pulled mine first. And I got to thinking about it. I said, you know what? I promised myself, let alone her, I promised myself. I said I'll never ever do something so stupid and dumb and put your life and my life in jeopardy again. So I have to practice what I preach. You know what I'm saying? I've done a lot of, I made a lot of, well, not that many, but I've made some wrong choices in my life that I'm going to talk about one night on the live. The people that I dealt with, my very first girlfriend was we gonna talk about that on another live. Just put it like this. I liked the naughty girls back then. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like no boring secretary or no, I liked the baddies, the crazy women. One day we'll talk about that. Shit, I could have got unalived in some of the situations I got entangled in. But anyway, I'm ready to listen to some music. I'm about to go over to my other channel, Life with TNV, or Electrik Beats or whatever. I got a new beat channel up, but no content yet. This one gonna be strictly music. Me, beat making videos or whatnot. The VSTs, plugins that I use. I just recently bought me Kai MPCX for the third time. You know what they say, the third time is the charm, right? But listen, I got it the first time. You see that machine right there? I couldn't fuck with the MPC. I'm so used to that motherfucker right there, right? So then I said, that was in 2020. In 2023, I bought another one. I took that one back. So when I found out that the MPC did an update and it's at 3.0 now, and they got the fucking arranger where you can do that shit in a linear pattern, I said I gotta get it. So they had a used one for $1,000 at the Guitar Center in Canton. Man, I grabbed that motherfucker. And you got 45 days to decide whether you want to keep it or take it back, and you get a full fucking refund. And I still got my receipt. But as you can see right now, do you see that MPCX? Do y'all see that right there? Oh shit, I didn't know y'all was right there. You see that touch screen right there? That's a 10-inch. That's like an iPad that's built into it. You know, so that's what I've been busy doing, man. Y'all gonna see me making beats on the MPC, and y'all gonna see me on the machine right there, you know? And I'm gonna have it where y'all can buy the motherfuckers off of me if you want. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for everybody. That's why I said, you know what? I'm just gonna make my own beat making channel that's gonna be exclusive to me, because believe it or not, this channel right here started off as a beat making channel. And when I saw the views go up when I got my first Glock 19, I said, shit, I became a gun freak. But it ain't in me no more now. I done sold like 5 or 6 guns within the last week, and I just ain't got the passion for it no more. You know what I'm saying? I was a collector, not necessarily a shooter. You know, I just wanted the Call of Duty guns, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm probably gonna sell another 3 or 4 of them. You know, I ain't gonna never be not without one. That would be foolish. But yeah, I just ain't got the passion for it no more. I don't, you know, people in life, you have chapters. Is that chapter of my life is over. But I love you, Gun Freak Nation. It's been big fun. But now it's time to run. I'm about to go over here to TMV Nation, and I'm about to, you know, we're about to do some purple music. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to turn up for the one time. What time is it? Damn, it's 12:14 already? Shit. Anyway, Gun Freak Nation, I love y'all. Listen, y'all stay armed. Stay responsible with your firearms. All right? Okay? Stay righteous. I appreciate that, Joseph. And just be ready to put evil down when evil comes your way. All right? Imagine all of the people that's no longer here, that's in the cemetery or in an urn, that should be here, but they're not here because whatever circumstances, they wasn't savage ready. And they let that savage get the drop on them, and they're no longer here. Just like my nephew. Just like my nephew that I think about every day, because I knew him. That was my nephew. He was a good dude, man. He was a good dude. He was a good dude. You know, and life is short, you know. All right, somebody just sent me a picture of one of their Funky Town senders. So far, only 2 people have sent pictures, man. Y'all need to get y'all pictures in. The more I get, the sooner I'm gonna go live and do the video. You feel me? You know? That's my nephew right there. That's the night. That's the last picture that was took of him. That was at his sister's party right there. I missed that smile. You see what I'm saying? You see the crucifix on him? You know, the crucifix didn't save him, huh? See the chain he got on? He died probably maybe an hour after that picture was took right there, you know. And I'm not knocking nobody for their beliefs or whatever, but I'm saying God also gave us common sense. Remember back in 2014 or 2015 when that racist went in that black church and went into church and it was partook in the church service. And at one point he said they treated him so good that he thought about not doing what he was going to carry out, but he ended up doing it. And if it was a divine time where God would have intervened, don't you think it would have been, that would have been a perfect, time for that to happen? Think about it. They inside of a church, they having a church service, and they in the Lord's house, right? Nope, it didn't work. The devil got up in there. The only thing that would have worked is if that church would have had armed security, or one of them would have been armed. See, what the Most High did do, what God did do, was he gave us something called common sense, something called wisdom, where it says, sell your cloak and go buy yourself a sword. Then that's what we got to do, to stand up against these demonic devils that's out there. We got to have that sword, which is a gun. Because if they got it, then we got to have it. You never want to be in a situation where you need it and don't have it. You know what I'm saying? What's that saying? I'd rather have it than and not need it, or then need it and not have it. Yeah, you want to be in that situation. You don't never want to be in a situation where you at the mercy and you can't defend yourself. You got to stay savage ready at all times, y'all. But I'm out of here. I appreciate you. I got to do this more often. I appreciate you. Thank you to all my mods. Thank you to all my paid members. And by the way, my paid members, I got a volume 2 members only beat collection that I'm going to be dropping very, very soon. Y'all get that shit free. Do whatever you want to do with it. Just don't make $1 million. Because if you make $1 million off of one of my tracks, then we can work something out, okay? But if you make anything under $1 million, then all that shit is yours. You feel me? But yeah, y'all gonna have some free beats coming, and then I'm working on new music too, man. I'm gonna start going live from this channel like late at night, and probably doing some Gun Freak music sessions live. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need nobody coming in saying, want me to talk about some gun shit or whatever, because once I'm in my zone, making a beat, I ain't trying to get distracted. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And then on my other channel, I can't even go live yet because I ain't even got 50. I ain't got no subscribers. Nobody subscribed to that motherfucker. I ain't even got no content up yet. But it's going to be called Electrik Beats. All my music and shit is going to be up there because, believe it or not, some of y'all hit me up about my beats and stuff, or, where can I buy your music? And I'm about to link up with DistroKid again, where to be on all major platforms. Whether y'all buy it or stream it, I make money off of the streams, But it's only $10, so the people that really fuck with me, that really support me, they're gonna buy it whether they think the beats suck or not. They just doing it because they fuck with me. They love me, and I love them back in return. It's about support and lifting one another up. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, and just being righteous and trying to do good by other people, treat other people like you want to be treated. It's so many ills in this society that it's sickening. You just gotta avoid the bullshit. Stay in your own lane. I'm not saying I have a life, but just be prepared for whatever and whenever shit can go down. But I love y'all, Gun Freak Nation. I'm out of here. I may go live again tomorrow night And I'm gonna start throwing the link up. Well, no, that'll be StreamYard. I don't think you can put a link on YouTube Live, so I have to do that through StreamYard. But I'm gonna start putting the link up, and maybe we can do some Jeopardy, or, let's have a conversation, talk about whatever. I'm an open book, you know, and you can ask me whatever. You know what I'm saying? You too, Howard. I appreciate you, and thank all y'all for coming through, stopping by, and it's all love at the end of the day. God is love, and love is God. But we got to have that shield up too. We got to have that shield up to defend ourselves. Our righteousness. And when I say righteous, I ain't talking about our heads all high up in the clouds. we flawed just like anybody else. You ain't gonna run up in my shit and just do me any kind of way, fall and just vibe. Nah, we fighting back against the devil. That's what having a gun is. You fighting back against the wicked, the devil. Okay, his minions. That's what it's all about. Anyway, I love you. Appreciate you. Gun Free Nation. I'm out. I'm about to jump on and throw some prints on. I love y'all. Salute, baby. My iPad, y'all, is glitching up. There we go. There we go.